Okay, so here we have our Kramer Collaborative Classroom. So the idea is, this classroom is based in not like a lecture style, but of, pods of 4 to 6 people. So you can see here we have, 2 pods. So one pod here, each pod has its own display. It has its own control panel, and it has its own VIA Connect Pro, which the, group members on that pod can collaborate with each other and do what they need. So each pod has its own VIA Connect Pro. And on the control panel for this pod, the students have the ability to control their display and control their little island here, control their VIA, control their display, but not interrupt anything else that's happening in the room. We also have a main screen. So, the main screen that everyone's looking at, that the teacher is going to use for, showing the class some work. And then the teacher has his or her own station. So the station here is just, the teacher's command center, basically, where the teacher has his own PC and also a document camera, a Blu-ray player, and other common sources that would be inside of a classroom. Okay, so as the teacher, you can command the room. So you have, a control panel here with our K-Touch 3.0 product. So the idea is you're going to take one of these sources on the bottom. So we have, your PC, your Blu-ray player, your document camera, but also the pods. And we've labeled them, the red pod and the blue pod. And what you can do is you select one of these sources, and you have 3 options now. You're going to send to main, send to all, or preview. So the idea is that, the teacher can say, hey, I wonder what's going on the red pod right now, and press the preview button. The teacher's local screen now changes to see what the red pod is doing. So, if they're not doing their work properly, the teacher can, tell them to start doing their work properly. Or, if they are doing something that's interesting, what we can do is press send to main. And when you send to main, the main screen switches, and everyone's now seeing what's happening on the red pod. Now you'll notice that, we also have Philips Hue lighting behind the displays. And when you switch the red pod to the main screen, the lights follow as well. So the light below the main screen is now red. So just a little nice thing that K-Touch is also controlling. So now, because everything that's on the main screen is going through our VIA Collage on its HDMI input, from the touchscreen here on the teacher's PC, I can go ahead and turn on the whiteboard function and make annotations on top of whatever's happening on the main screen. So those annotations can be saved, they can be shared using our VIA product. So also, if for some reason one of the pods, which, can't see the main screen very well, we can press send to all. When we do send to all, it sends, again, the red pod now out to all 3 screens. So everyone is seeing, the local screen with no problem, and everyone can see what's going on. At any point, I can press the group work button, and that's going to return everyone's screen back to normal. So the red pod is going to see, the red screen. The blue pod is going to see the blue screen. The teacher sees, his or her computer again, and the main screen went back to normal. Okay, so the last part of it is the ability to also touch the pods up here. So when I touch the blue pod, I can actually see all the participants of my VIA on the blue pod. So anyone who's connected to VIA now shows up on the teacher's screen, and the teacher can use that to say, hey, there's 6 people over on that table. Why is only 2 of them logged in and working in the classroom? We need to get everyone there participating and actively learning. So, and also from here, the teacher can click the step in button and enable, the laptop of that person or a device of that person to show up on that main screen for that specific pod. So what also makes this system unique is the ability for expansion. Obviously we're showing 2 pods here, but this installation is very easily expanded into more and more pods, essentially an unlimited number. Right now we're using our VS88DT as the matrix switcher that's switching all of our different pods and sources, but that could easily become, a VS1616D or a 3232D, depending on the size of the room that's needed. What's also unique is that every piece of equipment pretty much lives in this rack. So, for every pod there's a VIA Connect Pro, but the VIA Connect Pro, you interact with it wirelessly, so there's no sense in running cables out to each individual pod. You can just put the VIA Connects all in the rack here with all short cables going into the matrix. And again, because they're wireless, people can still connect and collaborate with their own VIA. Also, the only thing that needs to be run to an individual pod is a single HDBaseT cable. So that cable is going to send the video and control for the display at that pod. But each pod only has one product at it. That's just an HDBaseT receiver, and it makes it very easy to install and use this system. So at Kramer, we're seeing these classrooms, project-based learning classrooms, becoming the way that universities and even corporate with training centers are moving their rooms into this style, and we feel like our Kramer Collaborative Classroom is a great solution for that. So I appreciate watching, and have a great day.